guys? It's Josh at Reviews. Guys, I just want to first off take this minute to apologize for not getting another shark review out in it's been a few weeks now. Yeah, sorry about that. Also sorry that I'm not wearing a shark shirt to match the occasion. But, August is almost over, and I feel like once August ends, that's kind of when summer Shark Week is all done, and things have just been busy. So, with that out of the way, today we're going to be reviewing Black Demon. Got this at Walmart for $5 in the bargain bin. Think that tells you the quality of the movie, but sometimes you find some really hidden gems in the bargain bin at Walmart. I found Smile, which I don't think deserves to be in there. Scream 6 is in the bargain bin for some reason. Don't think that deserves to be in there either. And a few movie collections that really should not be in the bargain bin. Why am I talking about the bargain bin? We're talking about Black Demon. Anyways, this is a movie that came out in, 2023. I actually saw this in theaters when it had its limited theatrical run. And I was really excited because it's a megalodon shark movie that takes place on an oil rig. And it's basically about this father who takes his family on vacation. He has to make a quick trip to inspect the oil rig. So he leaves his family at this bar. The town's in need of repair. So when he gets there, he finds out that the entire crew has vanished and there's only like 2 people left. And the family so the family has to unfortunately be dragged along into it because there is a creepy guy at the bar threatening to do stuff to the family inappropriately. He was threatening to do inappropriate stuff. So they're like, yeah, let's get out of here. So they get on a boat, they go to the oil rig, and then they find out there's a giant demon shark that's circling the oil rig, and they're stuck there. So they got to find a way off. So, first off, really like the concept. I did not know this, but apparently this movie, or at least the story, is based off a Mexican urban legend about the Black Demon, which I believe is I don't know that much about I don't know that much about Mexican culture. I know a little bit about some legends, Curse of La Llorona. I know that. I know the story of La Llorona. But I never heard of the Black Demon, and I was kind of fascinated by that. So I was like, oh, maybe this movie will, kind of introduce me to a culture I'm not familiar with. Okay, so first off, I think the legend's cool because the shark itself is like a demon sent by the gods to come in and attack people who affect, the world's climate and that type of thing. Basically, it's a vengeful shark demon to get on the people who are, damaging the world's environment, that type of thing, right? So, first off, the first thing I really liked about it was the setting and the concept. I just like the whole general idea, and it's a good excuse for our characters to be in this scenario because the dad works for the oil company, so of course he would inspect it, and because there's a giant megalodon shark, they have to stay in this one area, and I like that it centers around the family. That's something you don't typically see in shark movies nowadays, where it's like the family, where the family is centered. Typically, it's like, a group of teenagers or one person that's, ever since The Shallows came out, it was like, now it's one person stuck on a rock. So that's kind of the typical thing you see in shark movies. I'm glad they focused on the family element, and I thought that the family did a really good job, or the actors portraying the family. I thought that they had a good dynamic, and the mother and father or husband and wife, sorry. They had a good relationship with each other. It was believable. There's some line deliveries that are questionable at times, but I more blame that on the directing rather than the actors themselves. I thought the shark, for the most part, actually looked pretty good. I was surprisingly impressed with how good it looked, especially considering that movie I watched called The Requiem, which we will get to at some point. I'll make time for that movie. So yeah, I was really surprised with how much I enjoyed the special effects and the family dynamic. I also really enjoyed how the shark was able to have these supernatural powers, like how it can make people hallucinate and it can kind of drive people to act crazy. It's unfortunate that they don't use that much in the film. It feels very wasted. It only happens twice in the entire film. No, I would say three times. Three times. Once in the beginning, one when the daughter falls into the water, and the third time when one of the guys is like scuba diving and he sees a bunch of stuff. Besides that, that's pretty much it. Oh wait, no, the third time was when he makes him think that he sees a boat, and so. That being said, I don't know what it is about these types of movies where a character or characters would be stuck in one spot. Because this can either go one or two ways. You have movies like The Shallows, which did a very good job making it to where you have one central character you focus on and have her, stranded on this rock trying to get off. But then you have movies like this where they're on an oil rig and there's a lot of stuff you can do with that idea and concept, and they just kind of sit there and they don't really do much of anything. Don't get me wrong, what they do adds to the story and plot, but it's mostly dialogue, and a lot of the stuff they do doesn't really go anywhere. Honestly, halfway through, I thought this film kind of felt like a mellow family drama. I don't know what it was. I was just like, this really feels like a drama that doesn't like have any conflict. It feels like they're just kind of making up stuff to pad out the running time. Because when you do see the shark, it's really cool, but when the shark's not there, you're stuck with the family. And while I did like the characters, a lot of the stuff they did, I was like, where is this going? It needs to kind of pick up the pace a little bit, because there are some parts that are pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. There were some parts where I was like, I could fall asleep to this. And if you're if you're a big like shark-aholic and you want to see like graphic, bloody kills, that type of thing, don't expect it in this film, because there are like 3 kills and they're not anything noteworthy. And because you're focusing on the family, none of them are really gonna die, besides maybe like one. But it's kind of it. They don't really do much with the story that they're stuck in. There's also, listen, I'm not against movies with like political messages or anything like that, but towards the end, I really felt like they were trying to hammer home the message of the film that, what the guy's doing is bad. And yeah, I won't spoil it, but yeah, what he's doing is bad, but I'm not here to watch an environmental shark movie. Or, I'm sorry, a shark movie with an environmental message. That's not what I came here for, and that's what I'm getting. Can we maybe, move past this? And then they start using stock footage, which I hate unless it's used right. It works in a documentary movie, but in an actual movie like this, not a documentary, I'm like, why are you using stock footage? Because then the dad starts getting into this monologue, and he has this mood swing that I have no idea if that was like established or anything. I don't know if that was supposed to be like the shark making him go crazy, but he starts going Looney Tune, and he starts rambling about how he was signing off papers on the oil rig, didn't really care for the environment. And it's like, okay, I get what you're doing here, movie, but I don't care. It's not a good message. Not like a good it's not like a bad message or anything. It's just not like, it's not handled well. And I'm not watching the movie for this. Again, I don't mind if there's a political message or an environmental message in a movie. That's fine by me. But this is a shark movie. I don't really care. And you're not doing anything to impress me. So, yeah. And then after that, they try to be very dramatic, and it just doesn't work for me. Honestly, this movie really felt like a soap opera. And I'm not particularly fond of soap operas. I've only seen a few, and the ones that I have seen were okay, but the ones that I have stayed away from, they're not good. So, The Black Demon. It's a movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not a awful movie like some of the critics and people online will tell you. It's not the worst movie. You could do a lot worse. I was surprised that I did find myself enjoying some of the characters and some of the scenes when the shark was using its supernatural ability. I thought that was very cool, and when you do see it, it's very cool, and the shark effects look really good for whatever budget or low budget I'm assuming this movie had, but for the most part, it just kind of was a little underwhelming. I would say it's more underwhelming than like bad because of what it tries to do in the end. Kind of tries to tie everything together with like this environmental message that I just don't think really works for the film, unfortunately. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a C. It's not bad. I showed it to a friend and he enjoyed it, so maybe you'll enjoy it too. I thought it was just fine. All right, so I'll see you guys next time. I am gonna be doing, I'd say 2 or 3 more reviews before I move on to other stuff, and then we're gonna move on to spooky season. That's gonna be in like 2 months, so stay tuned for that, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.